How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store has kicked off its Planet of the Discount sale. A lot of great deals available across the board, but it is time to highlight some great deals under the price of $10. We got quite a lot to go over, so let's get right into it. 15 deals in total, I believe, is what we got. So, right off the top, Borderlands Legendary Collection, 80% off for $9.99. I do believe this is quite possibly the best deal in this entire sale. I've seen this one time before discounted this heavily, and yeah, it's just an insane deal. If you do not have Borderlands The Handsome Collection or Borderlands Remastered, you get all that content, all that DLC for $9.99, which is absolutely insane. So, you got Borderlands Remastered, which is Borderlands 1 upgraded with the DLC. You got Borderlands 2 with the majority of that game's DLC. You just miss out on the meme Tiny Tina DLC. And then you got Borderlands the pre-sequel as well. That's an absurd amount of content for your dollar, quite possibly the best dollar per hour of content ratio that you're going to find on the PlayStation Store. It's just insane, and Borderlands 1 was great. Borderlands 2, in my opinion, is the best Borderlands game that has been released, and pre-sequel is okay as well. For all that content for $9.99, really a no-brainer. I will give a shout to Borderlands 3, the Next Level bundle. That is $6.99. You guys might know that I'm not crazy about Borderlands 3. I just thought, you know, the comedy got a little bit off the rails. That just might be me becoming old and jaded. I didn't think narratively it was as compelling, but it's the Borderlands gameplay loop. Like, if you enjoy that, you're still gonna find a good experience out of Borderlands 3. But for $7, yeah, I think that's a pretty good deal as well. That doesn't include all the DLC content, though, so keep that in mind. Next up, we got A Way Out, 80% off for $5.99. A really, really solid co-op title. Not super lengthy whatsoever, but a worthwhile game to go through over the course of, you know, a day or a weekend. You know, you're gonna finish it pretty quickly. Remember, you do need a friend to play it with, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, for $5.99, a really good price for a solid co-op title. And remember, you can invite a friend to play with you for free, so it's got that going for it as well. Mortal Kombat 11 and Injustice 2 Legendary Edition bundle is 90% off for $9.99. You got both MK11 and Injustice 2's complete editions. Obviously, like, MK1 has dropped, like, MK11 is the older Mortal Kombat title, but if you want two quality fighting games and you just want to get some fighting games on the cheap with a ton of content, this is a great bundle to pick up. $5 a pop for both of the game's complete editions. That's damn good, and Injustice got a lot of iconic characters. I mean, at this point, Mortal Kombat's characters are iconic as well, but nevertheless, $9.99 for that is quite good. Next up, we got Dishonored 2, 80% off for $5.99. Now, it does me a lot of sadness to know that Dishonored 3 isn't going to be happening anytime soon, but Dishonored 2 I thought was fantastic. A great follow-up to Dishonored 1, and you've got two playable characters this time around, Emily and Corvo. It's just such a great action stealth title. The options and the gameplay are great, and for $5.99, a no-brainer. Hopefully, in this lifetime, we do get a Dishonored 3. I know that Arcane Leon is focused on Marvel's Blade, which it's just like, man, I get it. We're trying to chase that Marvel bag, but man, I would love a Dishonored 3, and I just don't know if it's going to happen anytime in the near future, given how lengthy development cycles are, and if they're working on Marvel's Blade, man, it's going to be like 2033 at the earliest that we get Dishonored 2, but it is what it is. All right, next up, we got Catherine Full Body Edition, 80% off for $7.99. Played Catherine back when it initially came out in like 2010 or 2011, maybe it was 2012, but around that era, and enjoyed it back then. The Full Body Edition, my issue was the price point. $50 was a little bit hefty, but they do add some more content. It's a super, super quirky game. Story is great. And a lot of replayability with the additional route that they added as well, and already you had a level of replayability. The story is zany, it's off the wall. This is a game that I certainly wouldn't recommend to everybody, especially if it's your first foray into like Japanese games. Like, Catherine's gonna be a little bit too zany, but the narrative I thought was a roller coaster ride and worthwhile to go through. And for $7.99, this is a damn good pickup. Next up, we got Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown, 84% off for $9.59. This game was absolutely awesome as an over-the-top action flight title. It was just a ton of fun. An awesome soundtrack, which Ace Combat does not get enough credit for its excellent soundtrack. Narratively, you know, Ace Combat's story doesn't do anything for me, but from a gameplay standpoint, a sound design standpoint, the game is absolutely awesome, and for sub $10, easy recommendation there. Couple of Resident Evil titles. Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2 bundle is 75% off for $7.49. Great deal for this. Resident Evil Revelations 1, in my opinion, is one of the most underrated Resident Evil titles. I just think it's excellent. It was released as a 3DS game and was really a system seller for the 3DS. Then it was ported to modern platforms. Just keep in mind, given that it is initially a 3DS game, technically it's not going to be blow away. Revelations 2 is this more episodic game, but it's pretty good. It's not as good as Revelations 1. It was done in a different way, but still a worthwhile game to play through. You know, these games came out prior to the resurgence of Resident Evil with Biohazard and a lot of the remakes and whatnot, but still, definitely go back and play these titles. Resident Evil 2 Remake, as mentioned, 75% off for $9.99. Really kicked off the Resident Evil Remake gravy train for Capcom. RE2 is awesome. I can't really speak much on the original versus the remake because the original wasn't a game that I really played growing up. Like, I played it a while after it came out, but it was nothing that I got super into. But the remake of Resident Evil 2, phenomenal. I could just say it's a worthwhile survival horror game to go through. Super eerie, has the ambiance and atmosphere done to a T. $9.99 for that is quite good. Next up, we got XCOM 2 The Collection, 90% off for $9.99. This is a game I always go to bat for when it's on sale. XCOM 2 is awesome. Now, technically speaking, it did have a lot of performance issues on the PlayStation 4. It's not like this got a native PS5 upgrade or anything like that, so that's a little bit of a bummer. But if you are remotely into tactics titles, this is one you should absolutely play. And even if you're not, I think it's a worthwhile game to go through. And this collection includes War of the Chosen and a lot of other DLC content. For $9.99, much like Borderlands, the Legendary Collection, this is one that you get a ton of value for your dollar, and you're getting mileage as far as hours per dollar spent. And a lot of content there, a lot of replayability. $10, $9.99, really good pickup there. Next up, a great JRPG, Valkyria Chronicles 4 Complete Edition is 80% off for $9.99. Now, while this is Valkyria Chronicles 4, the game runs concurrently with Valkyria Chronicles 1, so you don't need to play the other 3 titles. Valkyria Chronicles 4 is great. The cast of characters are fine. I wouldn't say they're blowaway or anything like that, but the overall narrative, I think, is really strong. The character interactions are well done. It's a tactics title with a great art style. The Complete Edition includes the DLC as well. And this is one of those games that even if you're not the biggest JRPG fan, like, it's a gripping war story that, yes, does get a little bit crazy, let's be honest. But it's a gripping war story. You have characters that aren't blowaway, but they're likable enough. And the gameplay isn't really like a lot of other JRPGs. It is more of a tactics game that is well done and well designed. For $9.99, I think this is a good pickup. Definitely give that a shout. The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Special Edition is 75% off for $9.99. I mean, it's Skyrim. Like, at this point, y'all know what it's about. Skyrim, to me, is one of my favorite games of all time. I think it's absolutely phenomenal. I have friends that do not like Skyrim, and that is a lot, in fact, due to them looking back at games like Morrowind and preferring that style. Skyrim, to me, is the game that really drew me into Elder Scrolls. Like, I didn't even enjoy Oblivion that much, to be perfectly honest, but Skyrim I really enjoyed. Love the fantasy setting. Hopefully Elder Scrolls 6 comes out in this lifetime, and the special edition includes the DLC as well, so that's quite good. Devil May Cry HD Collection is 67% off for $9.89. This includes DMC 1, 2, and 3. If you're not familiar with the narrative of DMC, it's all over the place. I think it goes DMC 3 into DMC 1, into DMC 4, into DMC 2, into DMC 5. I think I have that right as far as the chronological order of how the Devil May Cry games work from a timeline standpoint. Devil May Cry 1 is great. Devil May Cry 3 is really good as well. Devil May Cry 2 is seen as the game that people just didn't enjoy. I still thought it was okay. Now, keep in mind, these are earlier PlayStation 2 titles. They absolutely show their age, wonky cameras and everything like that, but still fun action games. You know, if Capcom's gonna be doing a lot of remakes of video games, the original Devil May Cry and Devil May Cry 3, those are games they should absolutely look at of doing remakes. I think a lot of people would be all over that, given how these games have aged, but that's my 2 cents on that. Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, 83% off for $5.09. Obviously, Dragon's Dogma 2 is out, but that game's still going for a hefty price, so thought I'd give a shout to Dogma 1. Challenging action RPG here, a little bit of a throwback, but yeah, for $5 and change, not a bad deal there. Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 Road to Boruto. Obviously, Naruto Storm Connections did come out, but I would much prefer you guys to spend $9.99 for Storm 4. You get the Road to Boruto expansion. Storm 4 is great. Really want to see a Storm 5 here soon. I think a next generation Naruto Storm game would be great, but I did enjoy Storm 4. Thought it was really well done, and this kind of encapsulated and concluded the Naruto story arc. Obviously, Naruto is now concluding with Boruto, is now continuing, excuse me, with Boruto, but you know, for me, Naruto Storm 4 kind of put the almost cap on Naruto for me, in all honesty. I get it that we had the last as well, so, you know, as far as where you want to mark the definitive end of Naruto, or you want to deem it to be continuing, that is really up to individual preference. But yeah, $9.99 for Storm 4 is great. And then I'll also give a shout to My Hero 1's Justice, which goes in line with Storm 4. A solid arena fighter as well, and if you're a fan of My Hero Academia, whenever I say My Hero Academy, I get roasted for that, but My Hero Academia, you'll have a fun time with My Hero 1's Justice. I gotta catch up on My Hero as an anime. I know Season 7 just recently concluded, which is insane to me. Like, Season 3, I fell off. Like, I kind of know some stuff that happens in the story, but I got to, like, the second half of Season 3, and that's what I remember vividly, and then, yeah, haven't caught up since, but I definitely will. I loved My Hero, and I watched Season 1 and 2 as they were airing back in the day. 2016 is when Season 1, I believe, started. Yeah, had a great time watching it, and Season 2 was awesome as well. This game, I did really enjoy, but that'll do it for me. Again, a lot of great deals under the price of $10. Links to all of these in the description box below. Check those out and sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.